Hey, giving a shout out to Conscience Entertainment. This is Vern. Thanks for the support.
Stars are getting lucky for a great cause tonight at the 4th annual Lucky for Lupus poker tournament.
3 years ago now, and it was at a much smaller venue. And I think it's great that it's grown and grown, and that more people are aware of it, and that there's, some ability to raise some funds for a really good charity.
It's always a situation when you come up against something like this that doesn't have a cure so far, and where there's still a lot of research. That's the upside. There's still a lot of research, and they're hopefully working toward figuring out a way to alleviate people's pain. But all of us have different challenges that we have to face, and hopefully you can just find something deep down inside and just put it to good use.
Growing up, I had my challenges also, which I still do. So I can relate, and you just got to stay positive and stay strong.
2 years ago, my mom got misdiagnosed. Lupus is one of the most misdiagnosed diseases in the world. So it's hard to detect, and no one blood test could detect lupus, and there's no cure. So we just fight every day to try to raise money for medical, for awareness and medical research.
Hope can go a long way, like I tell everybody, boxing's a lot of the times you spend a lot of the time on most of the time in the trenches, and a little bit of the time on the mountaintop. So most of the time you spend in the trenches training, and the disappointments and the emotional stress and all that. How much more is it when you have a sickness? So. Like I said, I have cousins that suffer from it, and I watch that, and it's hard to watch. It's hard to see.
What can you say is the biggest misconception about lupus?
That's a good question. I think the biggest misconception about lupus is things like it's contagious, or I think the problem with lupus is that there are so many different symptoms for lupus, and the lupus can affect people in tons of different ways. So it's very hard to diagnose because everybody has slightly different symptoms. So I think the trick is to really get doctors to focus on looking for the autoimmune type illnesses.
Whether it's cystic fibrosis or lupus or scleroderma, where if there's millions and millions and millions of people and there's a lot of money to be made from the drug industry, then there's a big light shined on it because there's money to be made. But if there's not a lot of money, then these corporations aren't going to do it. So it's up to these grassroots efforts, like just these little poker events and stuff like that, to raise money, do it privately so they can get the funding for the research.
All it takes is a little bit of energy on our part to show up and to keep the ball rolling, and and rally the troops and get people foundations that can donate, and it's all synergistic and it all pulls together.
We just need to raise money. That's what we need to do to find a cure. So that's what we got to do. So people dig in your pockets that are out there that have money and are fortunate enough, do it.
I just hope that they will find a cure and nobody will have it anymore. That would be a wonderful thing if we got to that point.
Second that.